we better use this one then. All right, but we're just finishing actually a small session here. This is Mr. Rene Holten Poulsen, Danish kayaker, the best in history, 3 times world champion, 6-time European champion, 4th Olympics, maybe even more impressive.
Yep.
Which means you're an old man.
Yeah, basically.
No, we've been doing breathwork, and I just want to share a little bit with the world because it's not yet so fashionable to use breathwork. So what would you share with people that are everyday people and also athletic minded related to breathwork and breath holding even we've been playing with?
I think what's really important is if you're able to control your breathing and be aware of whether you're breathing through your nose or your mouth. And given that I know a lot about training, I also really like to play around with how can you do lactic workouts with less strain on the body, because that's the big problem with lactic work is that there's a big strain on the body and you get really tired, which means you cannot repeat it the day after. Which means normal lactic workout, you need 48 hours. With this, you need a lot less because you don't have the strain on your muscles and on the body in general. So it's a lot easier to recover from. Yeah.
And then we're doing all the breath holding.
Mm-hmm.
That's very new for you. I mean,
you're also, I suck at it.
No, but with the nose, so maybe just to give people a few pointers with the workout, we worked a lot with the nose breathing. Obviously, the nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating. We're talking about the nitrogen oxide, opening, dilating the blood vessels. We're talking about the pH level change, CO2, O2, the Bohr-Haldane effect related to temperature and to levels of CO2. So how can the affinity change in the blood, meaning that with higher CO2, which is not a bad thing. It's mentally tough to control the urge to breathe, but you have a higher ability to deliver oxygen to your muscles, and since you're a sprinter, you need to deliver all oxygen that you can.
Yep.
And you need to be just on the verge of VO2 max or above, maybe for the last sprint.
Yep.
So you have used the nose plaster, which you said was really nice. You're working on the nostrils.
I'm working on them, and then
dilating.
When I first started working on opening up my nose in total, I got used to it really quick, but I was actually training in an environment where it was fairly cold, so it was burning inside my nose, which was also a way I didn't find out that it was actually working.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually
doing something.
I could feel it straight away, but I found that, as you also noticed, my nose is very narrow. So actually, it was a bit of a coincidence. Like a friend of mine had the nose plaster, and I was like, "Oh, can I try it?" And I was like, "Yep, this is working." I felt it pretty easily at the beginning. Like it came, I could feel it from the beginning that it was just opening up everything. And it made it a lot easier for me mentally, because I also only had, I think, 4 weeks from when we did the first session to my competition. And so I didn't have a lot of time to adapt. So the nose plaster really helped me to shortcut that learning process.
And then now, of course, we're talking a lot about not straining with the shoulders, not using the clavicular breathing, but more the abdominal breathing. Yeah. Opening the nostrils, kind of like smelling the rose, and just getting full load of air and optimal oxygen levels. Yeah. Then we're working on the bike, we're working on the rowing machine, the Concept 2, we're working on hypercapnic training, so high levels of CO2 and obviously the oxygen dropping, but mostly it's the high CO2 and getting your body used to that as well. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at the heart rate, playing around with that and seeing
It's really interesting to see now. Just a few minutes ago, we were talking about this. When do you pay for when you get all the lactate? Like you're working it within the VO2, but then how much time do you have a boost? Like how much at the end of the race? I guess every athlete like to give the last little bit, but that last little bit, is that like 40 seconds or is it 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
And as we talked about, it's probably more like 10-15 seconds. The problem in all sports, if you totally collapse, the speed goes down, and that's the exact same for kayaking. So avoiding total collapse until the actual finish line is ideal.
Yeah, and seeing if we can push that window, both the VO2 max, how much can you push before the lactic acid makes you stop, but also like you said, you can train with higher loads, and well, we're dialing on a lot of different things, but everything related to preserving your body, having less time for restitution, so you're ready again the next day for a hard workout, so you can keep pushing, and then of course with different things and diet and your muscle training, explosiveness, all of that put together, and now with the altitude,
lose 3 kilo.
Maybe 4 pounds or something, but I think you can make that as well. And then with the breathing, like we talked about, from the pranayama, from the deeper breathing exercises, then when you get your nervous system to fire up and actually get that last switch, then you can actually have the same load or the same strength, but with a little bit lighter weight, body weight, which is ideal for basically any sport, but especially if you're moving your body and a kayak through the water at the Olympic Games. And now the last thing we're talking about is breath holding.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also playing with that, and then also for the mental part, of course, to find the flow.
And now I'm going to altitude.
And now for high altitude training, which is the go-to for a lot of athletes, obviously, for the red blood cells. Erythropoietin is a hormone in the body produced when you need more oxygen and when your body thinks it's a good idea, and then you produce more red blood cells, which are carrying the oxygen around in the blood, so it's kind of a higher octane gasoline.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps endurance a lot.
So now we're even discussing, should you also be doing some light breath holds at altitude, because you have less oxygen in the air, it's thinner air, so it's easier to get a good workout faster, but then when you do the breath holding, you can still push towards the lactic acid barrier. You can do a lot of things that are similar in your physical workout training, but with much less strain, but also boosting that mental toughness. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's also when you're an elite athlete, you always have a lot on your plate already. So I think all those little things you want to do extra, don't minimize them, but minimize them in the way that you're like, okay, this should be 5 minutes and not like there's some people who are like, oh yeah, you should do yoga for an hour every day. Yeah, but I don't have an hour every day.
Exactly.
So this is like, we were talking about the exercises with the bungee around the chest.
Yeah.
You can do them as a warm-up.
So we're just talking about this. It can be anything. It can be a bicycle tube. I got world famous for using that, but you basically strap it around your chest.
Yeah.
And then we use it, in your case, or for us, in 3 different levels. So high chest, middle chest, and lower chest, to also get the diaphragm, and then breathing like this. 5 minutes max.
For warm-up or whenever you like to.
Warm up
or
or workout.
Yeah.
Intercostal muscles.
Yeah. And the breath hold is fairly easy. Lay down on the floor. Or
Before eating, never hold your breath alone in water. That's the only thing to mention. We have to.
And that's pretty simple. Like it doesn't take up a lot of time, and it doesn't take up a lot of mental space. It's very basic to do a little, which could potentially make a big difference at the end. So that's why I think it's really important to have that in mind. How can I balance out my day doing everything I want to do?
It's smart training. Basically, it's more intelligent, smart, optimizing everything. But then again, the baby steps, like when something is new.
Yeah.
How's your body reacting? How's your nervous system reacting? We just discussed this on the bike. You also don't want to have this icky feeling like, I really hate this stuff. Then you need the fun factor. Not that it's not hard or tough, but you don't want something that's just outright disgusting and you just hate it.
Yeah, I was telling you about when I had a period when I was doing lactate work 2-3 times a week, and I was basically puking after every single one of those sessions, and I did it for about a month.
Yeah.
And you know, the first few sessions or once a week, you're like, haha, I'm a tough guy because I can do this. But once it becomes like a habit and you just do it, you're like, you see the program and you go on the water, you're just basically getting ready to puke. You're not really getting ready to train. You're just...
No, it's wrong focus.
Yeah.
So that is balance in everything, even in that. And then...
And with the breath holding, even on the bike or whenever, I at least try to just move forward with 5 more seconds or 10 more seconds.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also don't want to shock the nervous system. Plus, you want to keep that mental resilience and confidence that you can do it and you're comfortable in
build
it.
momentum.
So, yeah.
It's a big thing, building momentum, because maybe you feel like, oh yeah, I can do 2 minutes. Okay, but then maybe you should do 1 minute 50, and then next time you do 2 minutes, when you can do 2 minutes 10.
You want the stability,
Yeah, so you can create that sort of momentum, so you keep getting better and better and better and better without, or you can call it ride the wave rather than trying to overrun it, which is impossible.
Yeah, no, but there are so many ways we can implement breath work, and we've even done a little bit. You have done it naturally, but also some of the stuff we did where you do breath holding during the weightlifting.
That's a little bit more. I was experimenting with trying to do. I think was it around 40 seconds where it was low weight, and I did repetitions for about 40 seconds, 45 seconds, just as many as I could do, and then do the breathe in through the nose, slow breathing out, get full control, and then after 1 minute after stopping, I would have added, during that 1 minute I would add, I don't know, around 30% of extra weight, and then do 3 to 6 repetitions, as explosive as possible, which I find it to be pretty interesting, because you want to try and be explosive when you're tired.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone try and do it, and I felt like it helped a little bit when I came into the last meters trying to qualify for the Olympic.
Which you did.
I did. Yeah.
Yes, he did. You can follow Rene Holten Poulsen at the Olympics in Paris in the near future, and that will be his 4th Olympic Games. I think it's absolutely remarkable to have such a long sports career. You are
35. I skipped one. I skipped Tokyo.
You skipped one, so yeah, a very long career. So
20 years.
It'll be exciting to see how it all goes, and we'll keep, if not only holding our breath, but also cheering for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody out there, thank you for listening. If you have any questions, where we're going to post this, you're welcome to put questions, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, or I have no clue where this is ending up. But we'll see. But always welcome to post questions if that's possible. Then we might see them someday and answer you. All right.